Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the possibility of Matt Nagy, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, moving on to New York to become the next head coach of the New York Jets. We'll explore that possibility and what that could mean for Kansas City in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, I want you guys to sound off and let us know, do you want Matt Nagy to stay in Kansas City as the Chiefs OC? If you do, go ahead and smash that like button. If not, and that's okay too, we love diversity around here, comment and let us know why you would like to see Nagy depart from Kansas City. Weigh in, let us know, and we'll get started with today's show. So let's begin with this rumor from the New York Post, as they are predicting that Matt Nagy will be the next head coach of the New York Jets, as the Jets have had a lot of stuff go on this season. Robert Saleh was fired several weeks ago, and since he was let go, things have not gotten much better at all for that team, with Ulbrich taking over as the interim head coach, and the offense has still been a mess. Aaron Rodgers not having a great year. They brought in Davante Adams thinking he would provide a spark, and he hasn't done a ton for them. They brought in Hassan Reddick after a long holdout, and he hasn't done much at all either. Pretty much nothing has gone right for the New York Jets. Not to mention, they just fired their general manager, Joe Douglas, as well. So then we go to this rumor from the New York Post connecting Nagy to the New York Jets, and it makes you think, really? Matt Nagy as the next head coach of the New York Jets? For one, who would want that job, as the Jets have been just an absolute dumpster fire? They haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade, the longest active streak of any team in the National Football League. Their owner, Woody Johnson, has been a mess and has done a terrible job with that organization. So why would Matt Nagy want to go into that situation? Let's dive in and tell you more what Justin Reid from the New York Post had to say. He wrote the following: much like Adam Gase, Nagy has made a career out of riding the coattails of others. The New Jersey native broke into the NFL as a coach due to a personal connection with then Philadelphia Eagles head coach Andy Reid. So there is a connection there. And I don't know personally if Matt Nagy grew up a New York Jets fan, but at least he has the connection to that area there. And if Matt Nagy were to take this job, honestly, it would kind of remind me of when he took the Chicago Bears job and how much of a mess and a dumpster fire that organization was. Even though Nagy had initial success with the Chicago Bears, when you're dealt with Mitch Trubisky and everything else that's going on there, it was kind of like a ticking time bomb of when it was all going to fall apart for Matt Nagy with the Chicago Bears, and ultimately he got fired and made his way to Kansas City, and he's been the offensive coordinator the last couple of seasons since the departure of Eric Bieniemy. But with all that said, you look at the Jets and their situation, and if Nagy's going to take that job, I'll say this: I would expect then to be a complete reset. I don't think Nagy goes to the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and not the start of a rebuild where he gets to, kind of take over and do his own thing. I don't think Nagy goes to the Jets trying to inherit the problems that are already there. I think they hit the reset button if they bring in Nagy. But the question that Matt Nagy has to ask himself, and we'll dive into this more in just a moment, is the New York Jets' job better than being offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs? And I don't think so. I know that Andy's the one calling the shots offensively, but you are part of a dynasty run working with the most talented quarterback to ever play the game, and you got something special going on. If you're Matt Nagy, all the cards are in your favor. You don't have to leave right now just because the Jets' job is open. there's going to be plenty of opportunities down the road. You can be picky with an eventual head coaching job. Not to mention, when Andy Reid does retire, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon, there's probably a decent chance Matt Nagy would be in line to be the next Chiefs head coach to replace Andy Reid. So do you want to potentially wait around for that? So let's ask you guys, will Matt Nagy leave the Kansas City Chiefs after this season? Will this be it? It's our pinned comment today. Type Y for yes, N for no, if you think the Chiefs offensive coordinator is going to be done after 2024. Now, before we go any further in today's program, let me tell you about our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And Prize Picks has got a great deal they're offering right now, folks. They will give you $50 to spend for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. Just go to prizepicks.com/SealItS, promo code SealItS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. This week on Prize Picks, going with Patrick Mahomes to have more than 236.5 passing yards. Going with Xavier Legette of the Carolina Panthers to have less than 39.5 receiving yards. If I put $20 down, both those hit, that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. You can play along with me, prizepicks.com/SealItS. Promo code SealItS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. So here's where I would say the silver lining is, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, if Matt Nagy ultimately does decide to move on and take the Jets head coaching job or another head coaching job for that matter, I think Matt Nagy is very replaceable. And we saw the success that Eric Bieniemy had here in Kansas City. Even if there was some infighting that happened and maybe he and Patrick Mahomes didn't always see eye to eye. But the thing I always appreciated about Bieniemy was that he was the adult in the room, that he held guys accountable. And I can't say the same thing for Matt Nagy in that sense. Say what you want about Bieniemy and how he carried himself, but I thought he made the players around him better. And Andy Reid, even with him moving on and going to Washington and all that, what did Andy do? He still brought in Eric Bieniemy for some assistance before the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens. So if Nagy walks, personally, my first phone call is to bring back Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, who's currently at UCLA right now. And I don't think this offense would miss a beat. I think Nagy is very replaceable in this system. You still have Andy Reid. It's still Andy's offense. Patrick Mahomes is there. I think the Chiefs would be fine. In fact, you look at the numbers this year for where the Chiefs are at, currently 11th in the league in points per game at 24.0 points per game. Yards per game, 337.9. That's 16th. Points per play, 0.336, 14th. Yards per play, 20th at 5.2. They're not putting up earth-shattering numbers by any stretch of the imagination. This isn't like if Matt Nagy leaves that you're going to be trembling trying to figure out, oh no, what did we do? We just lost this great offensive mind here. Personally speaking, I think Nagy is replaceable, and I wish him nothing but the best. If he decides that he wants to move on, by all means, I think the Chiefs can do better than Matt Nagy, personally speaking. Let me ask you guys. I mentioned the possibility of him maybe being Andy Reid's successor one day. I hope that's not the case, in all honesty. I hope they don't go that route and give Nagy that job, but it seems like management does like Matt Nagy, that he's on their good side of sorts. What do you guys think? When Andy does step away, and I don't think it's anytime soon, who do you think would be the perfect fit to be Andy's successor in Kansas City? Weigh in the comments section and let us know what you think. Folks, we're talking about your Kansas City Chiefs each and every day on the Chiefs Report. Sometimes bringing you 2 and 3 videos a day, live shows every Tuesday, watch parties on game days, including this Sunday when your Kansas City Chiefs square off with the Carolina Panthers. You won't want to miss out on that. If you're a real member of the Chiefs Kingdom, you got to be subscribed to the Chiefs Report Lock us in. Help us reach our next goal of 62,000 subscribers here on the channel for the latest happenings on your favorite team all year long right here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. All right, final thoughts before we wrap up on this when it comes to Matt Nagy and this situation here with the Chiefs and everything. I'll say that when I look at this Chiefs offense, Matt Nagy, I don't think he's done a bad job necessarily, but I don't think he's done a great job either. And that's why I think he's replaceable in this sense, is that there's guys more than capable of doing this. And I don't know if the enemy would be the one in line to come back. Personally speaking, he got passed over for a lot of coordinator jobs this go round. But one thing I'll say to Nagy's credit, and really to Andy Reid too, Andy, historically speaking, has been a guy that doesn't really like to run the football that much. And what we've seen with this offense in the Matt Nagy era, since taking over for Eric Bieniemy, is the emphasis on running the football. And with the Chiefs not having the skill position players they once have, they have really pride themselves on running the football and playing great defense. That's been kind of their MO as a team. And so what I would hope is if Nagy leaves, that doesn't change, that you don't get away from the run game, that stays a key element of this Kansas City Chiefs offense going forward with Pacheco and company for many years to come. That's what I would hope for as far as that goes. If you enjoyed today's show, folks, show us some love. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. Thanks for joining us here on this Fireside Chat edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.